Let's go. Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal PeaceLoveMusic with another episode of the Let's Go Good Morning Stacks show, brought to you live by DeOrganized Media in partnership with our good friends over at BitcoinLive, Decentralized Broadcasting. It is Monday, the 20th of January, 2025. It is actually a momentous day. We have the inauguration of President Donald Trump for his second term. And this time, it's not just speculation. He's clearly all in on crypto. It remains to be seen how things will shake out in the first 100 days. But the market seems very bullish based on the events over the weekend. And we got a lot of work to do still in our space. Great things coming, but it's going to take a lot of effort. We got to keep going. Friendly reminder, this is a news show. We are providing news and information only. We are not providing financial advice. Always do your own research. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose, and do not make your investment decisions based on my opinion about anything. Sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I get it right and I get my timing wrong. It's not an easy space to navigate. No one's going to tell you what to do and know what is right for you. It's up to you to empower yourself. Get the information, understand how to read the charts and read the data, look at liquidity, the technicals and the financials of projects you're interested in, and walk slowly. You know, if you're running too quickly and think you got hold of something, oftentimes that doesn't go great for people. Good morning, Wine Twits. Steve, my buddy. Good morning, Jamie. What's up, my brother? How are you today? I hope you guys are having a blessed Monday, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am. With that, the news, the numbers, as of a few minutes ago, Bitcoin was coming in at 106,828. That's down, and I saw it touch 109 way earlier this morning, East Coast time. Might have been still last night for some of y'all. 106,828. Bitcoin coming in. Stacks down $1.47. Stacks is on sale right now, coming in, dropping to the number 55 spot on CoinMarketCap by market cap. Fair and Greed coming in at 58. That's actually slightly down from 59 on Friday. So still in that neutral range. The top three gainers on CoinMarketCap the past 24 hours are SPX, Melania, and Aave, the Melania token. I'm preferential to Trump myself. Hermetica yield. We're going to do a little bit of a Stacks DeFi update. Hermetica yield on USDH has hit 40%. Bitflow has launched an SBTC PBTC pair, liquidity pair. Alex, Me-Launch integration allows easy token launching on Stacks and soon to support other Bitcoin protocols. Velar Perp trading is live on Velar.com, and Zest is offering 7.29% on SBTC, stacking down over 10% on liquid stake Stacks. And the top three Stacks token gainers on Velar the past 24 hours are Smoke, Radio, and Ross TX. I've definitely been seeing a lot of free Ross posts lately. And if you are a supporter of free speech, the freedom to transact, and maybe limiting some of the reach of overreach of government, freeing Ross Ulbricht would be a step in the right direction for most of us that feel that way. When you stack your stacks, when you stack your STX, you earn yield in Bitcoin. Tell your friends. If you are unfamiliar, Stacks is a layer 2 built on Bitcoin, bringing smart contract functionality to Bitcoin, and part of the mechanism that ties Stacks to Bitcoin is called proof of transfer. With that, one component of that is that you can stack your stacks and earn yield on your stacks as part of the security metric in the paradigm, the mechanism for proof of transfer on stacks. You earn yield in Bitcoin every 2 weeks. stacks never actually leave your wallet, and you can actually unstake them at any time. So when you stack your STX, you earn yield in Bitcoin. Tell your friends. The Stacks calendar for the day. We have the Good Morning Show every Monday through Friday with me and friends. And that's at 8:30 every Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time is Find to Earn with Skullcoin and Memes. That's a Find to Earn game on X Spaces, hosted by Zenatron from Skullcoin. We actually are doing a weekly deal with him too, and looking at possibly doing a daily. If you're interested in that, let us know if that's something that you think you'd like to see. And there are we have our Whatever Monday space at 4 p.m. That's for anyone to come out and chat. I think Velar has a special community space at 11 a.m. It's not on the calendar right now. And I know Landy normally does his weekly show, his Landy. It's not Learn TA with Landy because that's on our network. I forget what his Monday show is called, but at 1 p.m. Eastern Time Mondays is Landy's show. So check him out. And I think Dave and Stacksy have a show at 2. So check them out. And then Dave usually has a show again later at like 5 or 6 p.m. So check them out. There's all sorts of great stuff going on in our space today. And should be very, very interesting with the inauguration going on for what's going on in the calendar. And we are also building out the calendar on DeOrganized Media and trying to work some functionality into there that might make it more convenient for people. Be on the lookout for that. We're still plugging away on that. It's very new. But let us know if you are interested in participating in that as well. We're looking to add more people to the calendar. If you got regular stuff going on, spaces, live streams, meetings, whatever that you want to make available open to the community, let us know. We'll get you on there. U.S. spot ETFs brought 18,014 Bitcoin this week, while only 3,150 were mined on average. That's a huge discrepancy in the available supply versus demand. Polymarket shows a 52% probability that Trump will establish a Bitcoin reserve within 100 days of taking office. 52% isn't great odds, but it's better than being under 50% odds. I remain cautiously optimistic, and I'm prepared for whatever. It may not happen early on. There could be a lot of pushback, and it might be harder to push through than some people expect. So just temper your expectations and be ready for whatever. That's how you have to be in this space. Elon Musk's Doge faces lawsuit. That's the Department of Government Efficiency, not the token. Faces a lawsuit for violating federal transparency laws set to be filed minutes after Trump's inauguration. Not sure that sounds like a tactic more than a legitimate situation there to me. Trump's meme coin launch represents a paradigm shift in U.S. crypto policy, says Wall Street research firm Bernstein. Trump's launched a meme. If you guys didn't know, Trump launched a meme coin over the weekend. He launched it on Solana. Solana ripped. The price of Solana ripped. The meme coin went bananas. It took a huge market cap, and then it corrected back down, although it's still more than double what it was by midday on Saturday. Part of what sapped the steam was the launch of Melania token, which is one of the top 3 gainers of the last 24 hours, although that seems to have peaked and recorrected. And you guys want to always be very careful on stuff like this. I don't see how it's a long-term play. So it's obviously a short-term play. So if you get in, have an exit strategy and stick to it. Don't get caught up in the FOMO. Digital asset inflows hit a record $2.2 billion last week amid Trump inauguration hype. Bitcoin led with $1.9 billion, while Ethereum saw $246 million in inflows. That's huge. That's really big, actually, if you didn't know. World Liberty Financial secures Trump-related ENS domains, sparking speculation of more Trump family meme coins. I'm actually going to share this real quick. I'm not sure if I got the right one here. Yeah. So this is all within the last day. Dowlationship. Yahoo game. I don't know what any of these are. 9290. What do those mean? World Liberty. Okay. Trump coin. .eth. Eric Trump. Baron Trump. So yeah, they're in it to win it, fam. They're in it to win it. Don't sleep on them because it's happening. It's just a matter of what they can do. Solana experienced network congestion after Trump meme coin debut, with no transactions reported for 30 minutes during the peak. And it was absolutely impossible to buy Melania when that first launched, by the way. It was just like, I know people did get it, but it was, I gave up trying after like 5 or 6 attempts. I was like, it's not worth it. I'll just get back to something else. If you can hodl only one altcoin for the next 10 years, which would it be? Answer in the comments. Let us know. I'm curious. I know a lot of people in the Stacks ecosystem like a number of Stacks-related altcoins, but I'd love to know what you guys are looking at for the next for the long term. What are you looking to hold that's an altcoin? Let's say it's not Bitcoin and not Ethereum. Bitcoin's 10% God candle sparks predictions of a $130,000 price target, hitting new all-time highs with unprecedented volatility. And crazy that, all of a sudden 106 sounds low. That's how it goes this time of the cycle. Tether CEO, that's actually last weekend's, but I'll read it anyway. Tether CEO Paolo Arduino says the company could consider more presence in the U.S., but it remains cautious as it waits to see how the regulatory landscape changes under Trump. That means we're still early. They haven't started pushing in yet because they're still unsure. So, be prepared for that inevitability. If you guys have not heard about what's going on over at AIBTC.dev, you have to check it out. They just launched a process for launching an AI DAO that is run and managed by AI agents. All you have to do is post on X at prompt2DAO, telling the details of the DAO you want to initiate, and it does it for you. With AI agents running your AI DAO, new enhancements being added regularly. They just announced an update earlier today or late yesterday on some more stuff. It's becoming more functional and just amazing what's going on in the space. Have you checked out Fact.fun? There are several new tokens currently in the bonding curve now. Can you get to the yams? Sweet yams? Rent, Froggy, Munib. I forget what Wappy's token was, but Dr. Wappy has a token over there. There's a bunch of cool stuff, so go check them out. Gary Reiger's Gated.so is in alpha test. Gated is going to be a platform for artists and creators to launch their digital assets and control access to the content they create. I know our good friend of the show, Reese Swanepoel, is actually going to be launching his next project on there in just about 5 days, I believe. I think that's happening on Friday. So if you aren't on Gated, get over there now. Gated.so costs you 1 Stacks to set up your first account, and it only costs 1 Stacks to be early. Get over to Gated. Find to earn with Game Master Zenitron. It was a great hit on Thursday. Tons of engagement, and we're thinking about running it daily. Let us know in the chat if you think that that's something you'd like to see on a daily basis. A shorter couple runs in a shorter time frame as part of the morning show, maybe. Are you looking to get started as a developer in Stacks? Head on over to stacks.co/build/get-started, or you can just go to stacks.co. Over at the right-hand side, it says Get Started. And you can access developer tools, learn the basics, build a full app, and even ways to get paid to build. Stacks.co. Also, if you're interested in helping builders and devs test out their projects on Stacks, or you are a dev looking for people to help you try out and test some stuff out, we're building a tester QA community. DM at PeaceLoveMusicG on X if you are interested. That's me, PeaceLoveMusicG. It's G is 1 sharp. It's F sharp. 1 sharp, dude. Stacks Sip and Innovation Community Call every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time with Hero Gamer and the Stacks org. Come learn about the latest developments on Stacks and give us your input. What would you like to see built on Stacks? That's becoming more and more populated. There's lots of stuff going on, more people getting into the process. We had Kwame last week suggesting he's going to start doing a regular weekly SIP update show or call or Zoom meeting or something, and that's really interesting, and that developed as part of that conversation we have every Friday at 11 a.m. with Hero. And current SIPs, there's the StacksPay SIP is live. You can go over to stackspay.org and learn more about that. That's put forward by Dan Trevino from Boom.money. There was also a SIP on decentralized liquidity pools that Rosar has put out. Rosar is an OG member of the Welsh Corgi coin community, as well as the founder and main dev over at Charisma DAO. So check that one out. And then there's also SIP 30, which it's a little bit more of a technical SIP, has to do with the RCP standardization amongst the wallets and some functionality there. You can read about all of those on the GitHub, the SIP GitHub. For Stacks, it's under Stacks.gov, I think. Stacks.gov repo, I think, is where it's at. That's the news for the day. Antonio, I look like Antonio Banderas. I'll take it. I'll take the compliment. Stacks AI is seeking real humans to test out their first AI agent specialized in marketing. So there's a Telegram at stx.ai. Check them out. Sui springs to mind. Sui. I don't feel great about Sui myself. It's good morning, Reese. It's Sui. I love Sui. I'm sure there's a mass adoption on it. I hold a small bag to complete transparency. However, I don't have Sui is a long-term hold. I'm not looking to cut it, although the price is already way up, in my opinion. But yeah, I think a 10 or 15 minute find to earn session daily might be really interesting for the community. I'd love to do it. It's really up to Zenny though too. I want to see I'm not sure if he's actually into it, but yeah, that's Sui hurt my feelings early on. I was actually testing them out before I even came over to Stacks, and they hosed all the US testers. They hosed us from the airdrops that they were promising us for months for testing. So that was a little frustrating. And then they kicked me out of the Discord when I complained about it. So with that being said, and I apologize, I took a long time getting through the news this morning. We have Stacksy's weekly update coming on in just a minute. So stay tuned for that. Stacksy will be right with you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you've survived this crazy historical weekend, mentally and physically. And I'm here to bring you another episode of the weekly Stacks recap today. With Donald Trump's inauguration today, the United States has its first pro-crypto presidential administration. The de facto leader of the free world now supports the advancements of cryptocurrency technology. Will there be a strategic Bitcoin reserve? Will Trump be successful in pushing his expected pro-crypto agenda in his first 100 days? This is a very important time for pro-crypto advocates, as we should all become chain agnostic and support the continued advancements of the decentralized economy, which also allows anyone with a simple internet connection to participate globally. A new era starts today, or maybe a few days ago. Stacks is a US-based Bitcoin L2 solution. The Stacks L2 on Bitcoin provides smart contract functionality and the fast transaction speed with the security and immutability of transaction finality on Bitcoin. Stacks evolved out of Blockstack and launched as the first SEC-approved token launch in the US. Many of the large apps developed on the platform have US ties. Stacks is a no-brainer to be added to the basket of tokens added to the US Strategic Crypto Reserve. It's also a no-brainer for those looking to build on Bitcoin. If you haven't already, check out stacks.com, or if you want to learn how to build on Bitcoin via Stacks, head over to EZA and download their educational app. The Stacks ecosystem has woken up with many of larger projects and core entities becoming more engaged and connected, collaborating with and supporting each other and the broader Stacks community. More social engagement, more plans for awareness campaigns, and support for builders and developers are happening right now on Stacks. And of course, the highlight of it all, Munib changed his PFP to a Megapond Ape Club NFT following Vitalik's move. With many stackers across the ecosystem following a chain reaction and posting return to ape posts and switching their PFPs to apes. Megapond Ape Club is the OG NFT project on Stacks that paved the way for the future of NFTs on our chain. The current floor price is 220 stacks, and the top sale price during the peak of the last bull run reached $152,000. AI development is happening on Stacks. There are many amazing projects developing on-chain AI projects on Stacks. AIBTC.dev recently launched an AI agent on their platform and has recently launched AI agents on their platform and have evolved that to now have an AI DAO that you can create by tweeting at their AI agent handle on X. So you just have to post your post with the name and details of the DAO you want to create, and it creates the DAO and the AI agents to run and manage it. That's pretty dope. I remember I was watching that unfold live, and I think there were being like tens of posts like right away with crazy DAO ideas. The syndicate is building out AI agents on behalf of several communities in the space, and the AI BTC devs have also helped Bitflow to develop its Keepers AI agent integration for users on their DeFi aggregator platform. There's also a STX AI agent, the Satoshi AI, Juni, Pandora, and many more currently in development on our blockchain. Yes, and I believe, also if you want to know about all the highlights in our AI developments, you can catch the morning DeOrganized Syndicate Daily AI Report show on DeOrganized. I think it's happening, every morning. And that's it from me today. And peace.
Good stuff happening in our space. Really is a really interesting times to be here. Thank you, Stacksy. As always, love hearing the update from you every week. Good morning, GPSC. How are you today?
Yeah. GPS is back with his main handle.
Good morning.
That he got back from so it is possible. Yeah. So if you guys are gonna get suspended, hit him up. He knows how to get it back.
Yes, we successfully.
Thank you. It's been a crazy few weeks. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how I got unsuspended, but they said that it was flagged as they were trying to ban some automated accounts that were trying to copy me. I guess they used the same handle as me and were trying to spam. So I got ringed in with all of that, and that was a crazy few weeks, you know. So now I have two different handles. You can follow me at the main account is GPSC underscore STX, and now I'm looking to find something to do with the other account. So yeah, it's a good week. It's a really good week. I'm happy.
Guys, I don't know, like we were like avoiding the elephant in the room, but like can we just please speak about the history that has been made in the past 2 days? Because like I am emotionally, I don't know, I'm non-existent. Like I feel like I've left all emotions in the last 2 days somewhere, and it was absolutely fucking crazy. So how you've been doing? I see at Peace you have like a new TV. Is that did you buy that with a profit? Is that the signs that you've made?
No, that TV has been there. I just didn't turn it off before we went live.
Okay, I never noticed it. I
Yeah,
was
it's
like, is
usually
that like
blank.
the
On
sign?
occasion, on occasion I'll throw on CNBC, so I have some like interesting things in the background. Or sometimes it'll be on, but it'll just be the Roku town, like the Roku Road image there with all that stuff. I just didn't shut it off after I got tired of listening to YouTube before I started getting the news ready this morning. I watch most of my.
So guys, you bought Trump or no?
I bought I have a small bag. I cycled in some of the meme tokens I had in my Solana.
When did you enter?
I bought some Trump, not a ton. You know, I'm not gonna retire.
At what price?
What's that?
If you want to say.
About $100. I bought about $100 worth, and it went to about $300 worth, and then it settled back down. I think it's about $200 worth right now. So I didn't sell it. I haven't sold any yet. I should have. My hunches are usually right when I want to sell, but I have a hard time executing when I feel that way because it's always like it's in the mania.
I was struggling with that all day yesterday, but I managed to make myself sell something because I was just remembering the whole Welsh rally last year, and I'm like, you can't keep doing this. Like, you can't. Like, you gotta take something out, you know? And so now, like, all the stress is gone. I've taken half out, and I'm like, okay, wherever it goes, I don't
At some
care.
point, you realize the value of the lessons you've learned in the past. You know, you actually realize some value, both in monetary gain.
It feels amazing. Like right away, I'm not stressed anymore. You know, like I'm not breathing like this. I'm not like fully like thrown off. Because for me, like when I lose stuff, like I'm completely fine. But when I'm actually making something, that's when I start being really weird. Like I'm just like I don't know how to deal with that, and then I become like I cannot deal with myself. So it was really nice. I was surrounded by friends. We were watching the chart on a laser beamer like wall together, and it was kind of like a whole thing, you know.
Well,
like,
I know you were in it early, like because I saw you posting.
Not too early, though.
Well, earlier. So when I first saw it in guys. If you're not in some of the community DM groups, by the way, let us know that you want to be in them, and we'll get you added because that's where you hear about.
Groups where we share our emotions.
I first heard about the Trump token launching very early on Saturday morning in one of our groups, but I didn't act on it right away because I was like, no, this like I usually most of the time when I hear about something like that, I try to avoid FOMOing into everything. But once I realized it was what it was, sure, I picked up a small bag and it was around $25. So I think it's like 50 something now. So I doubled my money. It's just $100 though. So I mean, you can just live forever, and if it goes to zero, who cares? It's $100, right?
I just wanted to be part of history, and I'm sorry, like there's different type of coins launches, right? There's like some stupid thing that we heard because like it's like popular right now, or there's a president launching a meme coin. So like you immediately understand the scale of that thing, right? So I was like immediately once I woke up, I'm like, with one eye open, someone told me, I'm like, oh my god, like.
It was definitely like if I, I had a few Solana in that wallet, and I really thought about just dumping the whole thing in, and I would have done better if I did. But that stuff stresses me out. Then I gotta watch it all day, and I'm gonna overthink it.
Yeah, it was
Anyway,
terrible.
like
2 days. 2 days.
Yeah, it's 2 days. It's nuts. So, but let's just step back from the token and look at the atmosphere we're in, where the president of the United States is launching tokens, launching meme tokens.
Insane.
We're here. We're
But to be honest, you know what? I do not think, like, I can't believe that they don't have a bigger plan for this. Like, him having a huge team and, like, being so careful with everything. And, like, I just feel like it can't be just a stupid meme plan. Like, there must be, like, this is me just thinking, there must be a plan for this. Like, something.
Did you guys catch Melania? His wife launched a token too. So the first lady of the United States as well.
Well, that was what set the dump off on Trump, actually.
Yeah.
Was the Melania, and that also lets us know that Solana still needs some work, because they definitely slowed down on Saturday with Trump launch, and then Melania, you couldn't get the transactions to go through it. I tried to buy some. Jack was ahead of the curve on that one. He was letting us know about that super early yesterday, and it was probably $2 or $3, and it shot all the way up to 13, I think. So there was some opportunity there. And I hope everyone made a killing.
But honestly, you know what I want to say for everyone who've missed it, and I saw a lot of people that they didn't enter because they thought it was too late and all of that. I just want to say, don't feel that way, because I feel like this just showed us what's going to be happening now throughout, let's say, I don't want to say 4 years because we don't know, because the bull run apparently is supposed to happen for a year, but I don't think this is the last opportunity. I think this just showed us what we're capable of doing as the whole crypto people. And that will just open gates for maybe governments like Cuba just did, that they rocked, or maybe they were hacked, but maybe there will be more stuff happening like that. So we just have to be ready. We just have to be in the trenches, honestly, and we just have to be online. Because honestly, it doesn't really matter if you know TA, if you've studied finance. These things, they just show us it's more about, can you ape in and not feel scared? Or you turn on your logic and are oh no, this is stupid, I'm not gonna do this. Because here, the stupid shit wins. I'm sorry. It's not about your skills at all. It's about your risk tolerance and your, I think, courage to just do it,
Yeah, I think I don't want to. There are definitely coins you shouldn't ape into.
Of course not with 100% of your portfolio. I'm not speaking about that. But a little bit. Sometimes I feel we need to turn off the logic sometimes, honestly.
Well, right. You can definitely overthink it too. You can definitely overthink it. But if you're aping into a coin, you should always have a plan to get out. Unless it's a project like Stacks is a long-term hold for me. I'm not looking to turn a profit on Stacks this year. I'm not likely taking any profits in Stacks. I might take some profits on some meme tokens maybe, but I'm not looking at taking profits on Stacks this year, because I think long-term Stacks has way more value than even this cycle. I'm not taking profits on Bitcoin this year, because eventually I don't ever sell Bitcoin. So there's things I would get into. But Welsh seems like a prime opportunity to buy in still right now. And some of the other meme coins like Rue and Leo and Bitcoin Pepe, and the communities involved. but I'm familiar with those communities. I know the people that are engaged in those tokens, where in other respects it's not as clear that that's something worth investing in. Like I know a lot of people are super hyped on Dogecoin because of the Doge Department of Government Efficiency part of that and all, but I don't think it's I don't think that that's I wouldn't, like, if I was going to ape into crypto, I'd be aping into blockchains with a long-term hold plan. I wouldn't be aping into meme tokens right away, which is, maybe that's other people's.
Yeah, we're all different, you know. At some point, I was like 1 year now not seeing any gains, and I was like, okay, I'm tired. I actually do wanna see some profit. And it was really nice.
Your experience, you have experience, so you're in a different.
Do I?
Well, more than somebody that's brand new to crypto, by a lot. You've experienced a lot as far as what's going on in crypto.
Yeah, a lot of round tripping in 2 cycles. So no, 1 cycle, sorry, and last Jan and March. So yeah, I just don't want to feel that, you know, like. And I will say I did like impulsively sell a lot of things that I didn't have conviction on. Obviously not Stacks, obviously not my big place, in order to buy Trump. So I was one of these people that took it out and made this all red happen to, like, you know how they said.
Well, that's what, right. That's what I mean. Everything except for Solana and Trump was red on Saturday.
And now I'm going to invest it back, and I think a lot of people will do the same.
What are your?
I'm not going to spend that, right? So I'm going to like just put it back in the bag.
What are your main token convictions, GP?
You know, I have Stacks. You know, I have a lot of Rue, and you know, it's just Bitcoin and Stacks mainly. Those are my main convictions. Is everything Bitcoin. I'm thinking I'm a believer that everything is going to come back to the mother chain, and I'm a Bitcoin and Stacks maxi. So I need to get out of this mindset and kind of. I was talking to Jack yesterday about this. Like, I need to get out of that comfort zone and kind of get back into trading more. You know, because whenever I started building a community, I got hooked. I mean, I love the people in Stacks, right? You know, I want to build here. I'm here for the long term, right? But there are opportunities that I'm missing because of that. So I was talking to Jack a little bit about what I should do to maybe get back into like DeFi, and he said, get yourself an OKX wallet. It works really well for pretty much every other chain. So I already have one, so I set one up whenever I got into Caspa. Caspa was one that I had a lot of conviction on last year. I don't have any CAS anymore, so it's just convenient that I have an OKX wallet now. I can get kind of back into doing the DeFi, exploring other chains, and seeing what I can bring back home to Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I know. I've heard a lot of people talk about Caspa, and I never knew. I could never really quite, like, I know it's on MEXC, and I already have a number of centralized exchanges that I've KYC'd on, and so I'm not looking to do another decentralized just to be able to buy into one coin. So I kind of stopped paying attention to it, and Landy's been on it a while. So last week I bought like $140. I bought 1,000 Caspa coins last week. So I finally got into that. But I thought the price was good at like 12 cents or something like that. I don't even know what I haven't looked at it since. But there are, you know, that's the thing. I tend to do, I'll get a small bag of everything and then just sit on them. And then eventually what I end up doing most of the time is just consolidating them back into Bitcoin. You know, that's just, that's been my, usually not at the best time. So several years ago, back in 2017, when I first started getting, summer of 17 was when I first started getting into crypto. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin, like $200 worth. and Ethereum, and I was focusing on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And my little brother, had started getting really like excited about like all the other stuff and all the other coins, because he ended up investing into a bunch of just trash. And he made some great moves too. He's early in Link, for instance. So he's got a Link bag that's very low risk, and he's done well. But a lot of the stuff he bought just ended up being garbage. And a couple of years ago now, years after he had made his purchase, and he kind of got out of crypto. He wasn't paying attention to any of it because he made a lot of bad bets. And I kind of looked at the numbers of all of the stuff he had bought, and it literally at any time since he bought them until a couple of years ago, and it's probably still true now, even more so, if at any time he had just actually sold those coins for Bitcoin, he'd have done better. Except for Link. Like, he did really well on Link. He got Link well under $1. So that being said, I love focus on projects that you have conviction about. Link's doing something. A lot of the other stuff was a lot of hype and flash and fluff, and it sounded good, but you got to look at what they're doing. Take your time. I wouldn't ape into anything unless you already understand what's going on in the space. Once you have a little bit more experience, then it's different. Substratum. I don't.
Yeah, and then you could really have your convictions like flipped on its head, right? You can do all the research that you can, right, and get your convictions and make sure that you're getting into the right thing, and then you have things like Fartcoin that are outperforming what you did all that research on. So it really is a wild space.
Or something
you
like
don't
what
know.
happened
I mean, like, what'd you say, Stacksy?
I was saying, or something like what happened 2 days ago. No research would have helped us to understand that. It's either you are.
Well, but you have a ton of crypto experience already. You've seen tokens launch, and you understand. You're familiar with who launched the token. Would a Trump token that wasn't actually officially launched by Trump have done anything close to that? No. You have awareness about that because you've been in the space.
True.
So it
feels like crypto Twitter is the place to be for maximum opportunities, right? Like, if you're on crypto Twitter and doing your research, like, you knew about Trump, you knew about Melania, so it's one of those things, right? Right place at the right time.
Well, and the fact
and not fall asleep like the Europeans. They like after all these years being in the trenches, I just slept in the wrong time zone.
Welcome, Michael.
I honestly need to go, but I leave you to it, guys, and stay safe and have a good time today, because today the new crypto era starts. I mean, it started probably already 2 days ago. But like, we are gonna have a lot of emotional fluctuation as well now daily.
The paradigm shift happens today.
Yeah, let's go make money.
It might have happened back over the summer when Trump turned his head at just the perfect time. That might have been actually the shift in the time space continuum there. But today.
Oh my God, crazy! Remembering all that.
Imagine where things would be. Well, thank you, Stacksy, so much. Always a pleasure. And we love having you here. You're always welcome on our show whenever you can.
Take profits, guys. Don't forget.
Nobody ever went broke taking profits.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Michael, welcome. How are you today, man?
I just got off the phone with Vibes.
Oh, yeah?
Actually. Yeah. He was telling me about Trump and Melania, actually. He's done quite well.
Most people did. Most people that did anything with them did okay. I as I've already said on the show this morning, I only put $100 into Trump, and I couldn't even get into Melania. It was it was just too much.
I couldn't even get into Milan.
There was too much there was too much block in the way. Couldn't get in. But
One of the most exclusive places to get in.
that's not what I hear. But
Wow.
oh, come on, we're just breaking balls. I know Trump watches. He's laughing right now.
Vanna White, what's going on?
He's one of the 186 viewers, right?
We gotta get you like a little screen behind you to turn.
I just wish I knew why Stacksy seems to be so creeped out by you. She saw you come on. She's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, fucking dirty Indians, you know? Fucking H1B. Well, it's Trump now. We can say these things, right?
Terrible.
Isn't that the other side of like him getting elected? That we can now be racist, like make America racist again?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
The
But
administration disagrees.
well, here's the thing. I want everyone to be honest every time they talk, right? If you have those kind of feelings, I'd rather know about it. So I never felt like that was. I never felt like that was off the table to begin with. I'd like to know if you're logically ridiculous on, if you have
Sounds like Lucky Charms. You're logically ridiculous.
logically logically delicious. It's all that sugar.
Yeah. Let me take a sip of my sugar.
Logically.
Oh,
Magically
man.
ridiculous.
Everything is magically ridiculous.
Everything
You know
is,
what I mean?
yeah, it's almost like redundant. You just say ridiculous. It's kind of, there's some magic there.
Whitehead said that everything actual is actual by virtue of all of its accidents.
Okay.
Because
I'm
from
not
like
sure.
a logical, mathematical perspective, a lot of the things that happen in our body and in the universe seem to be like kind of crazy accidents that we can't explain, right? And
Well,
he said
but maybe that's just our subjectivity showing our ignorance. We can't explain it because we didn't see what happened before that put it together, that made the accident happen.
yeah, the labeling of accidents. I guess one person's accident is another person's boon, perhaps.
Right. Well, it's kind of like technological advancement appears to be magic to people that don't have that level of sophistication.
Indistinguishable from magic, practically.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
So what were you guys talking about before I got here?
We were talking a lot about the meme coins.
Talked a little bit about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
what a
Stacksy's
ride
very
for that
excited.
guy, eh?
What's that?
What a ride for Trump, huh? Has anyone ever lived a life like that? That's nuts.
I don't know, man. It's really to be honest with you,
They almost
I
shot the
feel like
messenger.
I feel like the meme token launch just before the inauguration actually makes them look clownish.
I can see that. I also see it as the conversion of Constantine.
Okay. Well, yes. Okay, but so it's a meme token. It's just a meme token. What's the value? Because it has Trump's name on it. What are they doing with it? Are you building
Trump
anything else
Tower,
on it?
Right? I'm not. I don't want to take a girl to Tower, right? But Trump Tower, even though she's racist, she might want to be in a penthouse. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, yeah.
you understand.
Listen, we all want to be in the penthouse. We all want to be in
By
the
any
penthouse,
means necessary.
or to be able to go, like, just be self-sufficient in a place where no one's around you. You know, that's really we either
to get
want to be in
alone
the
is
penthouse or in the
right.
in the cabin in the woods. But with all the glamping cabin, not the camping cabin. You know.
So the goal is to be so rich you can be together alone at will.
Yes, which maybe doesn't actually require
Any
rich.
money, right? Yes, I remember the first entrepreneur I ever worked with. I asked him, "Hey, why are you driving a Mazda? Couldn't you drive like a Lamborghini or something?" He said, "You know, at the end of the day, I only get to sit in one chair."
Um, I can't think of his. Russell Okung is a former NFL player who's big into crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the wide receivers from one of the teams that played yesterday, I don't remember who it was because I only read the article briefly, showed up at the game in a $30,000 Honda. And Michael Okung shared it and said he must own Bitcoin because,
That's where the money's going.
you know, you don't need to flex nuts if you know you got them.
I like it. It's funny because I was talking to Vibes today. I'm like, look, if you're now we call it cultural investing. You know, he came up with the idea of brand market fit instead of product market fit.
Who?
And Good Vibes. Good Vibes calls it cultural investing, just looking at the culture itself, right? Because you can't have culture without community. And so what he would do is, look at Pump.Fun and then look to see if there's any communities around them and then dissect the communities because he's already built his own communities, so he knows the difference between vanity metrics and actual activity. So today I was talking to him about, what if you could create an AI that was trained on all the things that you look for when you're scanning the mempool of Pump.Fun, for example. So I sent him the link. Maybe he can drop them today, but yeah. If people have a strategy, there's a lot of people that are, what is a hedge fund but someone you pay to copy their trades? So
Yeah, really.
That's why I was looking at it. I was like, look, if you have a thesis and you're early on this and this and, you 4 to 8x your XRP, there are people out there who say, I don't want to do my own research, but I would like to benefit from this volatility. So we were just talking about what it looks like to create an AI based on his kind of like inner algorithm as he scans these things.
Right. Well, and so that is all very interesting. Like, so what would it take really to build out an AI agent
Yes.
that I could, let's say I wanted to actually look at all of the culture around all of the tokens on Pump.Fun. That's a lot of data to sift through.
Or is it? I wonder if Lunar Crush could help us in that endeavor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the social analytics. So, for example, you asked, I'll just share my screen very briefly. You asked, how difficult would it be to do this kind of work? So, this is the Pump-Fun API provided by Pump Portal. And this is how you would create the AI. You monitor what's happening in Pump.Fun, and with this Python code, you just replace your wallet key, buy or sell, contract address, and now you have an AI agent. And you go over to Google Colab, which is where you can execute. You just press the play button, and that's it. So,
that's where the agent would run on Google Colab.
It could. That's now you can run it on your local machine. Most people will, but just to test it, without downloading anything to your computer, you can go to Google Colab by Google. It runs on GCP, which is their version of AWS, just like Microsoft has Azure, Amazon has AWS, Google Cloud. Google has Google Cloud Platform or GCP, and that's why it's so performant. That's why it's so performant, because it's running on Google servers. But that's where I usually start people on the Python side, because usually challenges with software development is largely due to software installation. You know what I mean? It's not exactly the straightforward how to download and use all these things. And so with Google Colab, you can jump in, paste the code, change the values, press play, and you're executing. So I could execute programmatic transactions within that little environment I just showed you. So it's kind of the future is here, it's just not evenly distributed yet. You know.
Well, is it ever going to be evenly distributed? It can't be. It can't be evenly
How
completely.
dare you.
It's never going to be evenly distributed because we
So
don't
how are we
have
gonna
even.
how
We're
are
not
we gonna have-
We're not distributing it to even points.
So how are we going to ever have decentralization? Or do we just have oligarchization?
Well, does decentralization mean evenly distributed? It just means distributed.
It sounds like it means same master's new plantation.
Well, I think it's more
Come on, Vanna White.
more masters, right? More.
Vanna White is not pleased.
No. Listen, it's not. You're not wrong. No, no ideal actually
Yeah.
does anything on its own. It's the ideas that matter, not the ideals. You know.
I want to hear from Vanna. Vanna, what do you think? He's like, I'm staying away from that shit. Fuck you.
It's not
You
evenly
cancel on your own.
distributed.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, it's not evenly distributed.
But I don't
That's all
think it
got to
can
say
be.
about that.
So are we essentially just gonna bank the unbanked after all the positions have been set by the first world? I guess that's always how it's gonna be, right?
Well, so we're talking about different things, right? Banking, access to banking services is becoming much easier to distribute across the board, right? You're starting to be able to do more of that. But the people that are just getting reached by these things don't have the same tools available with which to access these things.
I
So
get it.
their
So
access is going to be less, even though they have access. But
so
at least they have access where they didn't before. So they're still receiving an improved living condition. But I don't think we're going to be able to create the same standard of living across the board or the same access to everything across the board.
I like it. I believe that we do not need to wait for any Trump speeches to see which way the wind is blowing. There's nothing he could possibly say in that speech that's gonna surprise me. Does that make sense?
The speech isn't what we're paying attention to. It's the executive orders and or the legislative pushback on his agenda. What his actual agenda becomes, not what he's saying it is, but what it actually is. What does he actually put into motion regarding crypto or everything else?
But we just had the conversion of Constantine, wouldn't you say? We're witnessing right now the greatest wealth transfer of all time. Like right
We've
now.
been witnessing that for decades. It doesn't
For
have
decades.
it's not
Right.
crypto. It's not just crypto. I don't. So it's undeniable that there's pro crypto forces in the Trump administration, and the launch of the meme tokens it proves that to some degree. But it also seems like how many people are losing money in that deal, and how many people get hurt on that, and how many people get a bad taste left in their mouth because their first experience with crypto was fucking Trump's meme token. I don't love that personally.
Here's the thing though. Phantom Wallet is what? The #1 app wallet on the planet? There's a lot of people who do.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean right. well, Phantom Wallet has actually had a hard push for the last couple of weeks anyway. Like it wasn't their adoption wasn't because of the Trump token. Maybe their adoption was necessary to push out to help foster the Trump token launch.
Because there's nowhere else to really launch this, right? It couldn't be launched on Stacks, couldn't be launched on Ethereum, you don't launch it on Polymet, right? Solana
Right.
was kind of the only place we could launch this from a wallet distribution perspective, wouldn't you say?
Well, and that's where there's a reason why Pump.Fun is just constantly has more tokens being developed and all of that. It's because it's easy to do. There's enough liquidity there, and the tech works to be fast and cheap to engage. It couldn't have happened on Stacks because Stacks doesn't have the liquidity.
So you're saying right now, Solana is peer-to-peer cash.
Right now, Solana's peer-to-peer cash, but it could have absolutely been done on Base.
Correct. But I think
Base
you
is
have
Solana on Ethereum, and it's actually going to be a Bitcoin L2 too.
Base is Solana on Ethereum. How dare you? You hear the slander, Vanna?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people.
I'm just thinking of the chances that Trump shows Trump and Melania in his inauguration speech. Is there somewhere that I can put a bet?
Polymarket probably has that prop bet somewhere, right? Does Trump mention
Look it up.
specifically the meme tokens? I don't know, but I do know that Bitcoin had $1.9 billion of asset inflows this past week. The second one was Ethereum with 246 million. Now that's a 1/8, of asset inflows, roughly. So
Actually, what I was thinking on that is, if Solana is now the kind of peer-to-peer cash, because it's just easier to send and receive, and everyone has Phantom on their Chrome browser, that doesn't mean that Stacks isn't necessary. I just see the use case for Stacks being more on the grayscale side of things. What do you think? In terms of Stacks, instead of being it like consumer tech, and me being more Bitcoin, cash, collateral, capital, and credit type tech, you know what I mean? What do you think?
I think for
Don't nod at that, Vanna. You're not supposed to nod at that.
I think that what's going on with Stacks is for people that are more interested in decentralization and censorship
Don't laugh
resistance.
at that, GPSC.
No, well, I mean, but that's so censorship resistance and decentralization and open source development and stuff like that. Solana kind of fails in some of the ethos part of Bitcoin. It's got the functionality now. Is it ever actually going to be really decentralized? Is it actually going to be really, is it not going to shut down with high volume? And I think Stacks is actually, you got smart contracts on Bitcoin. Solana's not on Bitcoin.
And that's why I think that if people are going to choose Solana, at least right now, again, I'm just saying, like, right now, Solana is peer-to-peer cash. And, funny enough, peer-to-peer cash was essentially brought to us by venture capitalists. Ultimate centralization. Does that make sense? Right. And, David Sachs and everyone from the All In podcast laughed their ass off talking about how much they made initially from Solana. And now David Sachs is in the government. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at things.
I would not fade Solana. I'm not fading Solana. That's I did make that mistake a couple years ago, and much to my own, I have less Solana than I should.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear a sad story?
Tell me.
And Coinbase used to have two different platforms. It was Coinbase Pro and then the regular Coinbase. They've merged, but that was where you could first set limit orders. And I had set a limit order to buy like 20 Solana at $12, and it was sitting there for over a year. And then when it hit, we were in obviously the depths of the bear market. And I saw it hit, and I had so soured on Solana because it was so associated with FTX and that scam bullshit that they were pulling.
Alameda. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Without
Which
Sam
was
Bankman-Fried, we don't have
which was
Solana.
not just some inept stoner kid, by the way.
No.
The fried
No.
bank man.
No, that guy had the best parents on the planet to launch financial services.
Well, he was also the number one donor to the Democratic Party during that cycle as well. How does that happen?
Do you know
So
who his
weird.
You know who his parents were?
I know they're connected. I don't know exactly who they are.
Super connected. Like
Right.
PhD professors at Yale teaching, I think it's securities law connected. You know what I'm saying? Like legit. Allegedly. But you understand.
I totally understand. I understand that they were laundering funds to.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about on that side.
Well, I'll tell you.
Doing everything above board.
No, they were. FTX was being used to launder crypto donations to Ukraine. That was they handled the United States crypto donations to Ukraine.
You're kidding.
No,
You're saying
I say
Sam
launder because that's what the
Bankman-Fried-
fuck they were doing. They were taking.
You're saying Sam Bankman-Fried set up an office in the Cayman Islands to launder political money to Ukraine?
Something like that.
I'm
They
trying my
handle
best
all
to
of the money that
act.
was raised to send to Ukraine in crypto was done through FTX, and they simultaneously were the number one donor to the Democratic Party. And then all of a sudden, and they were using user funds to make the books balance.
It's almost like they're lying in finance. You notice that, guys? Are these guys lying with money?
Well, I mean, is it lying if they're just kind of not saying anything and making you
Oh, a lie
think
by
things are
omission.
happening?
Maybe all lies in finance happen by omission.
Yeah.
That's dark.
Well, but those are the guys behind Solana, aren't they?
Well, I mean, a lot of things goes down in those islands. It's not just offshoring tax havens, huh?
A lot of shit goes down in those islands.
Damn, son. So
A lot of honeypots down there.
there was something that I was thinking about talking to you about today, but there's been so much that's happened. A lot of these agents I've seen, just like a quick AI thing. We've noticed that the initial round of AI agents were built using technologies and languages like Python, right? Python's used for data science. But are you familiar with C or C++? You've heard that before?
I've
There's
yeah, I
language-
don't know
okay.
I don't know what it's used for, but I know it's a programming language.
So if someone tells you they program in C or C++, they're a nerd. And they're a nerd because C++ is much more complicated than Python or React or JavaScript. But it's a bit more complicated to learn because it's so powerful, right? And you can do things faster. Now, for all intents and purposes, the language Rust, or like oxidization is what Stu calls it. So Rust is like C++ for the web. You know what I mean? So it's just a faster version of Python or JavaScript for the web. And who needs that? Well, people who want to trade Trump and Melania. You know what I mean? They need uh, 500 millisecond times, especially if you're using agents and swarms to make decisions. And so what I've been noticing in the AI agent world is, if you look at Eliza right now, Eliza is like TypeScript, another variation of JavaScript. But the new AI agents I'm seeing come out are using Rust. So just something to keep your eyes on. If you're looking at AI agentic platforms like Eliza or Virtuals or what have you, some of the AI builders are specifically looking for Rust-based agentic swarm solutions because of the speed with which you might be able to create trading bots.
And Rust is also a compilable based language, WebAssembly compilable based language.
And you hear a lot about this WebAssembly talk. I don't know much about this WASM world, but all the cool kids seem to know about it. Trip talked about it yesterday. He's getting into Rust too. So that's why I mentioned it.
what I understand about WASM, it was explained to me by Jin. His name is actually Sabin Hertz. He's a programmer. He was the main dev in the Node Rocks community that helped us build out some stuff that we were building out when we were doing stuff there. And he's behind a project called Bitscape, which he's trying to build a WASM bridge, WebAssembly bridge. So WebAssembly is what, and this is all, I'm only going by how Jin explained it to me.
No.
And
Everything
how
you're saying is gospel and none of it is wrong.
Well, it might not be wrong, but because I haven't been corrected on it yet when I've said it.
As good as right.
Right. So WebAssembly is the functionality that allows web-based applications to run like in your browser versus actually having to be located on your local computer. So you don't actually have to download the program to run programs on the internet. That's brought to you by WebAssembly because it compiles the program in the program language in the browser in WebAssembly, so you can run programs without actually having to download the file, the whole program onto your computer. So how that works with, amongst other things, like, so one of the things that Stacks is working on is a WASM Clarity virtual machine.
That's what Trip mentioned, but I didn't know what he was talking about.
So what that should allow, amongst other things, I'm told it'll actually make things a lot faster on the like at the node level, at the validator level, and all of that stuff. Like some of the functionality of transactional speed will be enhanced. But what it also, the coolest thing to me, or what seems like the coolest part of it to me, is that people will be able to write programs in Rust or any WASM compatible language and run them through a Clarity virtual machine. So you'll be able to use smart contract. You'll be able to write smart contracts for Stacks in any WASM compatible programming language.
So, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. Let's use AI for some of this. So I'm using Notebook LM. That's right, Notebook LM. Notebook LM is a solution, a research assistant, say, built by Google. It's one of the top 100 products released for the past year. All you need to do is click Add Source, and you can get sources from Google, Google Slides, website, even a YouTube video, or you can just paste text or add an MP3. As you can see here, I have details from Gamma, D grants, everyone that's important in the Stacks ecosystem, the white paper, the SIP repository with all the SIPs, right? So these are all the SIPs, right? And so whenever I need to seem smart in Stacks, I go here and ask someone who's actually smart. So, WebAssembly or WASM could help Stacks attract programmatic money traders by easing the learning curve and blah 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 blah. The Clarity WASM upgrade aims to address this by enabling compilers for Solidity and Rust. Increased execution speeds, and if you hover over the one, it gives you the resource. You ever use this?
Only a little bit, and only because you told me about it.
Yeah, this is how I do my research. This is actually how I did the SIP. This is the first time doing a SIP. Remember we had the meeting with
Yes.
Hero? Right?
Yes. And Kwame is actually going to start doing a regular SIP meeting starting sometime on I think the 5th of February is his target date for.
Who's that?
Kwame, who was in
That's right. He was in the space. He's from Canada. Yeah. So he's actually working on the WASM side, that, if I remember correctly.
I didn't catch that part of it because I lost. It's like I kept having some audio issues, but I did talk to him afterwards as well.
Yeah,
so I'm excited about getting that.
Okay.
Just some kind of like regular update on the tech side, on like someone with a little bit of a tech background giving us some updates on what's going on with SIPs would be great.
Yeah, Canadians will save America tech-wise. That's for sure.
Maybe. I didn't know that. Does H-1B include Canadians?
Naturalized Canadians, maybe.
Oh,
You understand. The way it works is the US and Russia fight over your country. You become a refugee. Canada takes you in. Your kids go to Waterloo University, and they end up having a co-op job at Microsoft. That's kind of the Oregon Trail of a refugee. But, that brings us to keep shit out your wallet. What a transition. What a segue. So, Hero was asking me, hey, we need to get more attention around SIPs. And then when I attended the meeting the other day, I was like, it seems like we just keep talking about SIPs. So I went to Notebook LM and I said, hey, I noticed that XRP is based on trust lines. So if you look at Binance's exchange, they only trust a handful of wallets, right? And you can't send the Binance wallet just whatever you want. So I thought, hey, if it's working for XRP, maybe we can do some co-evolutionary ecology. Organisms must continuously evolve, not to get ahead, but
so actually, I'd love to chat about that really quick. What is trust lines?
GPSC. This is your chance.
So trust lines are a way to keep shit. So essentially, if you've never interacted with a different wallet, it is if you opt in to say you've never interacted with another wallet and they try to send you something, they wouldn't be able to send you spam or any nefarious NFTs. If you've never interacted with that wallet before. So it's a way to build, put together different syndicates and organizations that other lines. Basically, if you've never interacted with a wallet before, you don't have to worry about anything to your wallet that may drain your account. It's a cool sim.
So one of the things that I do enjoy about Stacks is that periodically I get airdrops from all sorts of communities based on things that I hold now. And don't get me wrong, I understand that is a vector for bad actors to send malicious tokens, and that people need to make sure that they're not interacting with tokens that they don't know in order to avoid those types of problems. But does this kind of prevent, like, if the root community wanted to actually send me something because I hold a bunch of Stacks invaders, would I not be able to actually receive that unless I proactively approve a wallet to receive it from? And then, so that means that it seems like I can opt in and opt out of this, right? Like I can turn it on or off. So if I want this protection, I can turn it on. But if I don't if I'm not worried about it, I don't have to have it, right?
Well, this is what we're discussing, right? But I think you have the basic idea. You see how I just used cursor to create a explainer for XRP?
So why don't you read through that, how it works real quick?
Sure. Imagine you have a special piggy bank, but this isn't just any piggy bank. It's a magical one that can only accept money from people you trust. First, you tell your piggy bank, I trust GPSC. Now GPSC can put money in your piggy bank, but random H1Bs like Blockface can't. You can tell your piggy bank, I trust GPSC up to 20 bucks. That's kind of mean. I thought he was doing pretty good with the Vanna White job, but I get it. That means GPSC can't put more than 20 bucks in your bank. So it's like having a bouncer for your wallet. That's what I should call it. Hold on. Where is this? So you're saying
I
it's
just
like a
don't know if there's enough. I don't know how much need there is for something like this.
No? You don't see the need for an exchange to be able to keep unwanted tokens out of their exchange wallet?
So an exchange is going to have to whitelist everybody that's trying to engage with it?
Because an exchange only will interact with a small handful of parties. Does that make sense? Right? As like a trusted relationship, like their liquidity providers, or the people they're providing liquidity to. So for example, one of the things I did, let me show you this. So if I go Twitter, if you want to see the trust lines for XRP, this is what XRP trust lines look like. There you go. These are all the people that Binance has trust in. That's who they provide liquidity to throughout the syndicate of syndicates that it's put together.
So those are the only people that can send or pull XRP liquidity from Binance. Can Binance use that to actually like limit their ability to withdraw liquidity after they've received liquidity?
Those are the limits and terms, right, that you can set with these trust lines.
So I can be like, you put the liquidity in, we'll accept it, but now you can't take it out.
It's all according to the rules you set up. But just imagine what can happen if you're trying to run a business and you want to have a wallet that doesn't have unwanted things, especially if you have a lot of STX or XRP. Trust lines have enabled transactors on XRP to have a bouncer for their wallet. And I figured if it's important enough for the bankers, it might be useful for us. And keep in mind the XRP like trust line spec, it already exists in full resolution and detail. But this is good. You know, every question that you have means that my answer still isn't as good as it needs to be. And that's a good thing. But that's
very interesting stuff.
So you mean, so you mean you can, if the simp is proposed, we won't be able to send our tokens to burn anymore? Like example with, I know a few different bonding curve tokens did that. Got got burned, or before the people were sending tokens to and considering it burned, right? So he would be able to block that from happening.
So what this would allow for is for you to create wallets for very specific purposes. Does that make sense? So it's not that they couldn't still have that relationship. These trust lines allow him to transact or set up pools in a very safe environment, because he knows that there are, you know how like in Clarity we have post conditions, right? Don't execute this transaction if blah 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 blah, right? That has to exist because we don't, as far as I can tell, have this way to set up this trusted relationship according to financial parameters. That's good. If I can't explain it, well, this is the reason we're doing this. And this is my first time doing a SIP. My assumption here is that if it's good enough for XRP, it's good enough for Stacks, because it performs a very important function for the exchanges on the network.
I don't see it being a problem having it as an option. I wouldn't want it to be a default option on wallets.
No, not at all. Actually, it's funny because one of the people suggested that if we're going to do this, we should talk to like the people on the Lether or the wallet side.
Right. XRP. I mean, not XRP. Xverse wallet, Lether wallet, Signa, and even Dan. Dan's building out his wallet. Boom wallet.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin up an XRP node and run a bunch of private use cases on it. Set up a funny exchange, set up some, 15 partners, test the limits back and forth, all those things. And then once we have it working here, then I'll be able to bring it over to the Clarity Stack side and say, hey, this is how we might set it up. And I've already kind of pinged Setsus and a few other people. And we did a call yesterday called the SIMP. I call it SIMP instead of SIP. Stacks Improvement Protocol is a SIP. SIMP is Stacks Improvement Machine Learning Proposal.
So that's a simulp.
Yeah, simple.
Simple.
Or something. Yeah, you gotta be dyslexic with the acronym to make it work, but I'm okay with that. But yeah, this just goes to show that we have this digital menage a trois that we can have, even with seemingly complex things like a Stacks Improvement Proposal. Like, just think about all the things you need to know, right? To do an actual SIP, let alone to understand what's going on. And I just said, hey, here's all the documents.
No, I think what you did with that was great. It's actually, we need more of this type of stuff. Someone just suggesting, hey, this is an idea that I haven't seen on Stacks. Should this be a SIP? And so just to kind of the SIP process, oftentimes, like, something doesn't have to be an approved SIP to get enacted. Like, you can build it. It's permissionless. So you could build that out and then propose it to be a SIP. And it doesn't, if it's not adopted, you can still use it. You can still, people can still use it.
Let's try that. Hold on. Real time. All right. So, write a Clarity contract to demonstrate how we might enable trust line functionality using Clarity. Boop. Da-na-na. All right. Come on, everybody. It's thinking. It's really thinking. Look, Clarity code. I'm a Clarity developer. Kind of, not really. So, trust lines, implementations, and clarity. Look at me. See how H1Bs work? We don't know how to fucking code. I shouldn't even be showing you this. Sorry. Establish a trust line between two parties. Again, I think some of these are pseudocode, but
Well, anything after the double semicolon is actually just
common.
like explainer text. It's not code.
But it says like, oh, it's using the modify trust line because it's using the suggestions it made to certain. If I go back to the, where is it? What do we call it? The Red Wedding. Sorry. It was using this. It suggested these functions: establish trust line, transfer via trust line, modify the trust line, and close the trust line. That's where it's using these things. Interesting. Well, there you go. And so I just need to copy and paste all of this. There you go. Thanks for suggesting that. So I guess if I just figure out how to execute that or figure out another workaround using post conditions.
Right. You actually just created a product or a plugin that could be implemented into wallets potentially.
Mm-hmm. Now
you don't need a SIP to do that.
Look at me. Now I'm the wallet. Sorry. Amazing. Great show today, guys.
Great show. Thank you guys so much.
Not going to be the same again, right? So we should toast. It is the greatest wealth transfer of all time, and you're too late. We apologize.
Cheers to being too late. Don't FOMO in now.
It's already too late.
No, FOMO in. But buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Trump.
Do we want to have a eulogy for all of the people that lost their wealth before we end?
You mean like the big banks, like BlackRock? It's all downhill for them.
We are gathered here today to honor our dear friend Fiat. We met Fiat a long time ago. In a lot of ways, Fiat was our friend before we ever knew its name. In Europe, a Fiat is a very slow car that nobody wants to drive. And that has now come to America. And just because Fiat isn't useful today doesn't mean the sex wasn't once good. You know, just because you divorce or you break up, it doesn't mean that you didn't have good sushi that one time at that place.
You might even hook up again after the divorce.
You might even hook up again after the divorce. So this might not be. Nietzsche said God is dead. Jung said right on time. God dies on a regular basis and is resurrected, or haven't you noticed? So perhaps it's not so much the departure of Fiat, but the transformation.
The transcendence thereof. We are transcending and including. We are transcending and including Fiat.
And so, as we put Fiat into the ground, let us raise ourselves up on the shoulders of centralized venture capitalist driven development, because decentralization is clearly something we don't care about. We want to thank everyone for joining us on this journey of the greatest wealth transfer of all time. It has largely happened untelevised, and it doesn't matter what you think anymore. You're going to have to place your bets, and not placing a bet is placing a bet. Thanks, Peace Love. Thanks, GPSC.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, GP. And I do want to say to that, I don't think we don't care about decentralization. It's just that the average user the average user that we're going to onboard, the average person, the average non-user, first needs to eat, first needs a place to live. So if decentralization isn't getting them that, then they care less about it because they need to eat. We all need to eat.
When everyone's on their knees, nobody feels like they're bowing. Camus.
Right. So that doesn't mean it's not a good, worthy effort, though. It's just, it's not.
Hey
If
guys,
your
you did your
goal
best,
is to
but
get, if
you
your
got
goal
some
is to
VC.
just get as rich as possible,
Yes.
decentralization is not the necessary step.
I mean, technically, Stacks is
Plan
VC
accordingly.
just as much as Solana is, wouldn't you say?
Stacks is what?
Just as much a VC chain as Solana, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't say it's just as much a VC chain, but it definitely, I mean, it's not because it doesn't have the liquidity of Solana, does it?
What happened?
I mean, it just doesn't.
How did you answer that even worse? I thought.
Well, I mean, but that's what it is, though. You're building something that
Someone disagree with me. GPS.
is it supposed to be? Hold on, is it supposed to be attractive to VCs, or is it supposed to be attractive to people that want to use the tools that are being developed?
It's a good point. Today, let's make sure that you use the tools and not the tools use you.
Smoke the weed. Don't let the weed smoke you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Cannabis.
Oh,
Y'all have a
yes,
blessed
we
day. I am
have
Peace
a-
Love Music. No, we're gonna end it right there. Thank you, Michael. I'll see you tomorrow. GP, you guys have a great day. I am Peace Love Music. We are DeOrganized Media coming at you live on BitcoinLive, Decentralized Broadcasting. Our good friends over there. It is Monday. It's inauguration day, and good things happening, despite some of the gloom, the gloomy story. Obviously, it's not that gloomy, right? We got I don't even know what the price is in the last hour and a half since we've been live, but it was 106 change for Bitcoin coming in. Great day. Thank you all for tuning in. We will be back at 4 p.m. with the Whatever Monday show, and then back at you live again tomorrow morning at 8:30. Peace out.